one of my mentors from many years ago told me how you do anything is how you do everything. And what that meant is you can't be a superstar, in your real estate business, but you're not putting the time into your family. You're not putting the time into your health. You're not taking time for yourself.
Agent Power Huddle is a daily jumpstart, giving you all the tools you need to create an amazing real estate career. Led by top experts in the field, you'll learn how to sell more houses in less time while creating the life you want. Welcome to the Agent Power Huddle.
All right. Welcome and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Barry Overton, and I'm going to be your host today for the Monday Mindset. This is really just a 30 minutes to be able to just get you ready for the week and prepare you. The preparation starts with your thinking. So I'm excited to share this particular topic today. This is something that has always been near and dear to me this time of the year as we get ready to go into the fourth quarter of the year. I can tell you, being a big football fan, this is always a fun time of the year for me because, again, it's football season and I'm excited. And a part of that excitement is seeing amazing games. Being here in Denver, Colorado, we have a phenomenon going on right now. With up in Boulder with Coach Prime and CU, the University of Colorado. And I can tell you the game that we had this past weekend was one of those examples of the excitement of football. And guess what? It came down to the fourth quarter. It came down to the bitter end of the game was probably the greatest part of the game. And what I want to share with you, if you think about if you're a football fan, a basketball fan, and a game, it's a grueling game, and it's going back and forth with the contestants in the game, and it comes down to who has the mental and physical fortitude in the fourth quarter to eke out the victory, and that's what we saw on Saturday night with two amazing teams that really came to play that game. And it came down to the fourth quarter. Sometimes also a great example in that game was sometimes you don't have the best first, second, and third quarter, and you have to put it all together in the fourth quarter. And that's exactly what happened. You think about it, they went to tie that game up. CU was on their own 2-yard line. They had to go 98 yards, and they did it in 90 seconds to tie the game up and eventually take the game into overtime and win in double overtime and take the victory. And I want you to think about your business now, because we've gone through, we're kind of coming to the end of the third quarter right now. We've had a first quarter, a second quarter. We're in the third quarter, and we're preparing for the fourth quarter. And, again, the topic here is champions are created in the fourth quarter. So I'm going to share a few things with you in regards to what I've done in my business and how I've approached the fourth quarter over the last 11 or so years of being in business, where I really dialed in some of the things that I need to be doing for my business. I've been in business longer than that, but these last 11 years have been the game changers as to how I approached it. And those are going to be some of the things that I share with you today. And so I want you to think about if your first quarter, your second quarter, and your third quarter, whether they were good, whether they were bad, where were they at for you? Let's take that example of they haven't been the greatest. This has been a tough market that we've been in. So if they haven't been the greatest, guess what? You're not alone. There are plenty of other agents that are having those same challenges. But then it's coming down to this fourth quarter. See, this is where, as Shedeur Sanders said, where he went into Brady mode, meaning Tom Brady. If you go back to, the Super Bowl between the New England Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons, that was a Brady mode, where, again, they were down in the middle of the third quarter. They were down by 25 points. They eventually came back, and it was the work they did in the fourth quarter that got them to the victory. Once again, it's another game that went to overtime, but what they did is they created momentum that once they even went into overtime, they were unstoppable. So even if your first three quarters in your business have not been where you wanted them to be, that doesn't mean that you can't have a superb fourth quarter. And like I said, those are some of the things I'm going to share with you here in just a second. I want you to also take it from a perspective. Maybe you have killed it. Maybe you've had an outstanding first three quarters. And maybe you get into a mindset of, man, I've already hit the goal that I was looking to hit for the entire year. I'm already there. So what do you do with the fourth quarter? Do you coast? Do you take the fourth quarter off because your goals have already been reached? Or do you take it to another level? You say, okay, I've reached the goal. Let's see how far we can really take this. Because see, I set a goal for myself in the beginning of the year that obviously was not even I should have been thinking bigger. So let's look at what thinking bigger gives me. Are you taking that approach? Or are you saying, you know what? I've done it. I've done everything that I said I wanted to do. It's time to rest. I'm going to tell you personally, I believe in rest. I believe in celebrating your accomplishments. I believe in balance of time and time in business, time in life, time in play. I believe in all of that. But I don't believe in taking off an entire quarter because you've already reached your goal. And I'm going to share with you, once again, some of the different areas of how to take whether you've reached your goals and you're elated with where you're at going into the fourth quarter, or whether you're very far behind your goals and you're going into the fourth quarter thinking, I got to play catch up. We're going to talk about what are the steps for you to be able to do that. Just before I jump into, some of the things the activities and the things that I'm doing, I want to just see, does anyone want to share anything in regards to their thoughts about that fourth quarter and how you're going about approaching it? So we'll open it up if anyone has any thoughts or wants to share anything. All right. And again, no problem if you don't want to, but I definitely want you thinking about this as we continue to have this conversation in regards to it. So really, there are two, I always look at it, there are two benefits to this fourth quarter. Number one, there is a mentality, and I've seen it in real estate. 22 years I've been in real estate, and I've seen this mentality over and over and over again in the fourth quarter because again, you think about it, the first month of the fourth quarter, we have Halloween. It's kind of there are a lot of people that love and celebrate Halloween, and they go all out with that. So there's a lot of celebration that goes on in the fourth quarter of the year, because we have Halloween, and then we go into Thanksgiving in November, and then we have the Christmas and the different celebrations that we have around Christmas as well. And then we go into New Year's. So there's constant celebration throughout the fourth quarter. And it's easy to become distracted. It's easy to really put yourself in a place of, okay, I'm going to focus on the celebrations of the fourth quarter. Once again, especially if you're that person that has hit your goals and all you want to do is celebrate. It's very easy to get caught up into all of the celebration aspects of it. But what I want you to understand is it's a time to press down on the gas, not hit the brakes. And I'm going to share why that's so important. But one of the main reasons for me is because I have always been one of those that, I observe the masses, I look at what the masses are doing, and I do the opposite. I go the opposite direction. And I've had conversations with teams that I was a part of, different companies where top producing agents that I work with that are taking their foot off the gas in the fourth quarter. And guess what? I'm pressing down harder. And I can tell you, I've had years where my fourth quarter, even though I had excellent first, second, third quarters, my fourth quarter ended up being the best quarter of the whole year. And it set me up for a phenomenal first quarter of the new year. So again, realizing that that's an opportunity. That's a place for me where I can now, with everyone else slowing down, if I'm going to speed up, it's a great opportunity for me to really start to grow my business, and to the point of where it takes me into the next year. I'm going to give you another analogy. I love analogies. And I want you to think about, if you're running in a race. I don't care if it's 100 yards, 800 meters, a marathon, it doesn't matter. If you are running a race and the first 3/4 of the race, you run it perfectly, you are out ahead and you run that race the way it's supposed to be ran. But then in that fourth quarter, you take take the foot off the gas, you slow down, you try to coast to the finish line. Guess what? In a race, if you're competing with other people, there's a very good chance that you're going to lose that first place position, that you're going to lose the race, that you're not going to attain the victory. Now, I can tell you in business, for me, I don't compete with anyone but that guy in the mirror that I see every morning. So it's not about competing. It's not, that you're running this race to compete with other people, but you are running this race to compete with yourself, compete with the person that you were yesterday, and be a better version of yourself today. And so that's the mentality that I have to take into going in the fourth quarter. And if I've run the perfect race for 3/4, I tell myself, okay, how can I get better? How can I continue to improve? And how can I utilize this fourth quarter to be able to do those things? So I want you to think about it from that perspective in regards to how you're going about your fourth quarter. So I've kept hearing about the activities. I'm going to tell you now, these are the activities that I focus on in my business during the fourth quarter. The first one is your sphere. I'm a big guy on sphere marketing. I know we may have some folks on here that are, maybe you're doing cold market. And if that's the case and you're successful with it, then ramp up your cold market in the fourth quarter. But I can tell you, for me, I'm very big into my sphere and tapping into my sphere. What's perfect about the fourth quarter with tapping into your sphere? Going back to what I said a minute ago, celebrations. We got Halloween, we got Thanksgiving, we got Christmas, we got New Year's. We got 4 different holidays that you can touch base. You can be top of mind with your sphere. And guess what? A lot of times we think, well, I don't want to, inundate my sphere with emails or text or whatever, however I'm staying in communication with them. Guess what? During this fourth quarter, it's invited. It's a great opportunity to be able to stay in front of your sphere. So I go into a mindset of, from the sphere marketing aspect of my business, I'm all over it. Not only am I sending out texts and emails, I'm making phone calls. I want to personalize it where I'm checking in, because I can do the emails and I can see someone opened it and maybe they've opened the video that was attached to it, but I don't get a response back. It doesn't mean that they didn't like it. It doesn't mean that obviously they saw it. But now what I want to do is I want to have some conversation. I want to really catch up with them. And it's appreciated when an agent calls their sphere and is really just checking in, taking the 10, 15 minutes out of your day to really just kind of see how life has been, how has their year been for them. So staying dialed into the sphere. Another thing that I do, this is a great opportunity for pop buys. I have a couple of vendors that I use that during Thanksgiving and during Christmas, they make these amazing apple pies and sweet potato pies. And I take those to my clients. I buy a ton of those, and I literally pop by the day before Thanksgiving and let them know that, hey, hope you and your family have a great celebration. This is on me. Enjoy this. But again, once it's a touch point and it's face to face with someone, and it's something that you're doing, from the heart, number one, and as well as being able to be a part of their celebration, because guess what? When that apple pie is sitting on the table on Thanksgiving Day, there's a conversation around, where did this apple pie come from? Especially, like I said, the guy that I use makes a phenomenal apple pie, peach cobbler, sweet potato pie. It raises some conversations every time. I have people call me a few days after Thanksgiving to ask, where did you get that? I need to know who this person is. So once again, it creates the touch point, and you leave a mark that, again, you're staying top of mind with people. And then, so again, you can see how powerful it can be during the fourth quarter to be able to stay in front of your sphere and do it, pretty effortlessly, in that regard. Another area that I work on, the other activity that I work on, is then marketing my business. And I market particularly to buyers during the fourth quarter, because this is a season that traditionally has been a great opportunity for buyers. We know that the market tends to slow down right after the 4th of July, and then it slows down a little bit more right at the start of school starting. And then when we get into mid-October, early November, because of the holidays coming in, we know that the market tends to slow down even a little bit more. So what does that mean as the market slows down and houses are not selling as they were at the beginning of the summer? That's an opportunity for buyers. So getting buyers to understand this is their opportunity, this is their moment to be able to maybe get a property at a lower price, or get a property where there's not a bidding war, or ask for seller concessions, positioning them in a place where they can now really kind of, in essence, call the shots to a certain degree, when the majority of the year they haven't been in that position. So I do a lot of marketing, especially to my buyers that got frustrated during the summer, or we couldn't find the property that they were looking for. Being able to go back to those buyers and tell them, hey, this is our moment. We got a window of opportunity here. So I push a lot of marketing in regards to buyers. I share a lot of different, that their first-time home buyer program. I make it a point to be apprised of all the first-time home buyer grant programs or special programs that are out there, so that I can now share that and market it to my, whether it's my sphere or whether it's just doing Facebook ads. But again, I want to be the person that people, buyers in that particular case, are thinking about when they're looking at purchasing during this fourth quarter period. So again, that's number 2, is marketing your business, particularly towards buyers. The other area, the third area that I work on, is me. And that's, personal development. And so I do a lot of reading. I have quite a few different mentors that mentor me in business, spirituality, and health, and in personal life. And I am dialed in to those folks during this time, because what am I doing? I'm preparing myself for, that first quarter of the new year. Because you think about it, if we have this mentality that we kind of take it easy in the fourth quarter and we're ramping up to blast off in the first quarter, well, in order to be able to blast off, you got to have fuel. The fuel for me is what I'm putting into my mind, what I'm putting into my spirit, and who are those people that are speaking life into me? Who are those folks that are mentoring me and giving me the tools that I need to have to go into the first quarter? But guess what? I get to utilize those tools as I'm receiving them in the fourth quarter. I get to apply them and use them in the fourth quarter, as well as I'm preparing for that first quarter. So one of the things I would definitely, look at right now, I'm a big fan of Audible, because I'm in my car quite a bit. And guess what? The majority of the time I'm in my car, I am listening to Audible. Right now, Never Eat Alone is, I think it's Keith Ferrazzi is the book. It's about being a connector and networking. And this is something that I've always prided myself on. It's one of my value adds, one of the areas where I'm able to shine. Well, guess what? I want to get better at it. Even though I feel like I'm pretty good at it, I want to get better. I want to find out other areas that I should be tapping into in regards to that. So that's the book that I'm listening to now. I have books that are queued up that will be coming in the next coming weeks. The Power of Influence is another one. I think it's Zoe Chance that wrote that book. It's a powerful book. My wife is reading it right now. And I mean, I see the book and she has all these earmarks of all these different things that she's receiving from it. So I'm excited, about that one. And then the next one that I'm looking to read is the Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm a big believer in belief and in affirmations and understanding the conscious mind versus the subconscious mind, and how we can control the subconscious mind that also has influence on our beliefs, our behavior, our activity that gives us our results. So right now, I've already got queued up what I'm doing for the fourth quarter in regards to that personal development. So I would highly urge you to continue to do that for yourself. If you're doing it throughout the course of the year, don't slow down on it in the fourth quarter. As a matter of fact, double down on it going into the fourth quarter. The next activity that I'm doing is setting your new goals for the new year. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. I said goals, number one. I didn't say resolutions. I'm not a believer in resolutions. I believe resolutions are like rules. They're made to be broken. And what typically happens is people make resolutions at the first of the year. They start them at the first of the year. And by February 15th, 86% of people have already given up. 6 weeks in, they've already given up on the resolutions. So I stopped making resolutions and started making goals, because there's a different activity and behavior when you're creating goals, because you're writing them, you're reading them on a daily basis. I give a whole class just on goal setting. So really get out of the mindset of making New Year's resolutions and look more at setting goals. Now, I'm going to tell you something that I do that's different in regards to that, that's very important to me in regards to the goal setting. So my birthday is November 1st. And what I have done for probably 11, 12 years now is I've always taken my birthday as the starting point for me in regards to working on my goals for the upcoming year. And the reason I do that is because you think about it. If you're making a New Year's resolution, when are you setting the time to create the game plan around the New Year's resolution? Guess what? It's usually December 30th and December 31st. And so there's not a whole lot of thought that's put into it. There's probably a little thought that's put into what the resolution will be, but there's not a whole lot of thought put into how you will execute, what the plan is, what the strategy is. So what I do, once again, because I'm setting goals, I take November 1st to November 30th to be able to identify my goals for the upcoming year, set a strategy in place to be able to achieve those goals in that year, in the upcoming year. And December 1st is when I start to execute, not January 1st, December 1st. And I'll tell you why I do that. I want you to think about, I've given a lot of sports analogies. I'm going to give one more here. I want you to think about a 100-yard dash, a race. All right. If you have, all of us know how 100-yard dashes ran. You start in the starting blocks. You have the starting line that you start at, and the gun goes off and you take off. All right. And the fastest person that gets to the finish line at the end of the 100 yards is the winner. All right. I want you to think about it from this perspective. If you have everyone's in the starting line, but you have one runner that's way back here, they're 50 yards behind the starting line, but they are running at full speed. And when they get to the starting line is the exact same time that the gun goes off. And they're already in full speed, and they go past everyone that's in the blocks that are building their momentum to get to their top speed. This person that's 50 yards behind that now hits the starting line, is going to be 20, 30 yards ahead of everyone else. Because see, they started before the starting line. I want you to think about that. December 1st is my run up to January 1st. It's my ability to gain momentum going into the new year instead of telling myself, okay, I'm going to start at the first of the year. That's when I'm coming out the blocks. No, I come out the blocks a month early so that I have momentum. And I'm sure that some of you here can attest to this, but I can tell you January has been one of my better months in real estate because once again, we're coming out of the fourth quarter. We have folks that they're coming out of the mindset of, okay, we had the holidays. We're beyond that. Let's now start looking for a house. Let's now get our house on the market. And guess what? All the work that I've done in that fourth quarter, and particularly in that month of December, has now got me prepared where I have clients. I have a funnel full of people that I've been nurturing through the fourth quarter, and particularly in that first those 31 days in December. So again, consider that, as you're building towards your goals going into 2024. So that is, again, really some of the strategies that I've used that have helped me to be very successful in this fourth quarter and utilize everything. There's some great opportunities in the fourth quarter. There's also great opportunities to enjoy family. One thing I want you to take away from this is I am not telling you that it's grind all through the fourth quarter. No, you enjoy the holidays just like everyone else. You make time and take time for yourself and your family just like everyone else, but also just have a mindset of, okay, what am I doing in my business today to get ahead of where I was yesterday? So really taking it from a perspective of being able to grow your business in the fourth quarter that's going to set you up for victory going into to the new year. So again, business, personal, health, relationship, all of those things it's called balance. It's having all of those components working together. I can tell you just as much as I'm working on my business, I'm working on my relationship, I'm working on my health. And I can tell you one of my mentors from many years ago told me how you do anything is how you do everything. And what that meant is how you can't be a superstar, in your real estate business, but you're not putting the time into your family. You're not putting the time into your health. You're not taking time for yourself. You have to have that balance. So being able to find that, again, it's a great opportunity in the fourth quarter to figure that balance out for yourself and then apply that in every quarter of your life. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, it was an honor to be here with you today. I'm excited. I'm always excited for this fourth quarter because of the reasons that I shared with you here today. And I'm looking forward to your success stories going into the fourth quarter as well. So we got about 2 weeks for you to gear up. So, again, this is the opportunity to make a decision for yourself of how you're going to approach that fourth quarter and then put it into action. So with that, I want to say thank you to everyone. You guys have a great Monday and a great rest of your week, and look forward to seeing you in the fourth quarter.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.